You're out on the road, you're riding with your friends, but it's kind of difficult to talk back and forth because you can't ride side by side. Well, with those micro Bluetooth earbuds that I had opened up a couple weeks ago and this Bluetooth push-to-talk button, we might have a solution for you. A few weeks ago, I did a couple unboxings of some micro USB Bluetooth earbuds. Now the idea behind that was it's a one earbud piece, so I can listen to some music while on the road while still having one ear open. I thought that the combination of having a Bluetooth earbud and a push-to-talk walkie-talkie type app on the phone would be a great way to be able to communicate with your friends when you're riding if you're not able to go side by side or if there's some distance in between the two of you. So I did a couple of rides with this. The music, it worked out really well with the music. The problem I had though was on the push-to-talk element. A downfall with iOS in using something like this on the Bluetooth end of things is that the button that you push to enact the push-to-talk portion doesn't quite work with iOS. In the Zello push-to-talk app, you're supposed to be able to push the button and it activates the microphone and you talk and it gets sent over to your friend. On iOS, it doesn't quite work that way on the Bluetooth end of things. With the wired headset, you push the button and it's a push-to-talk thing and it works beautifully. But on the Bluetooth side, it doesn't quite work the same way. On the Android side, you can push to talk and it'll activate the program and activate the communication, but once you push it again to cancel it, it doesn't quite end the call either. So the other side is kind of stuck in limbo, not being able to communicate back. Looking around the Zello app, there is a setting for push-to-talk buttons. So I went onto the Zello site to see what exactly that meant, and they had a list of different hardware pieces that you can use to actually enable the talking portion when you're using a Bluetooth or other kind of headset. I looked at all the items and a lot of them were really expensive in the 80 to 150 on up price range, and there was no way I was gonna go for any of those. Come on, I wanna do things on the cheap. I paid $15 for these things. I found a button that is listed as iOS only by this company Pryme Accessories. The documentation online, on Amazon and on the Zello site say that it's an iOS only device. But since it's a Bluetooth device, I'm kind of curious to see if Android will also recognize it. I don't understand how one device could only work Bluetooth on one operating system, but not on the other. But we'll break it open and see what works and what doesn't. So for $30, I went ahead and picked this up from Amazon, and it arrived just a couple days ago. So now I'm able to sit down and open it up and go through it and see how it works. So let's go ahead and crack into it.
So simple packaging, which is fine. It's not like we need a carrying case for this or anything. It's going to live on the bike. So we'll just go ahead and pop open the bag, and it's just the instructions and the button. So let's just go ahead and put the bag down. So the instructions show you how to change the battery, how to turn the device on, and on the bottom corner and on the other side of the page you'll see is how to pair it with your phone. So there's our button. It's got a little Velcro strap on it. It's got a nice little feel to it on the clicking side. We'll go ahead and unscrew this to take a look at what's underneath the cap. Alright, no wires, no cables. I like that. So there's our little watch battery button that powers the button itself. And that little white tab there is your power on-off switch, which you can't get to with your finger. So we're going to need to grab a little screwdriver, flick that into the on position, and we're just going to leave it like that. Go ahead and screw this back on and pair it with the phone. So go into Zello and there are options, push to talk buttons, and then wireless Zello button. Go ahead and you click it and you notice there it is, PTT-Z. So we'll go ahead and choose that, and there is our connection status with the phone. You push the button and it engages. You can see the red light, meaning it's recording, and then when you're done, you push the button again and you're done. We'll go ahead and put the little earbud in my ear so that we can give it a real-world test. Grab the button, we push it to engage. You notice the receiver circle turns green, and then when I'm done talking, just push the button again and the circles turn yellow. On Android, again, we go to Options, choose push to talk buttons, and then add button. Click the button a couple times to make the connection, and there we go. You can see the connection status. So to treat it like a walkie-talkie button, you hold the button down and you see that it makes the connection, and then when you're done talking, you let go of the button and it stops.
Here we are. So it's an interesting little button. There's no lights, there's no indication that it's on, aside from the switch that's in here that you're gonna need a little tiny screwdriver to activate. But since it's not a USB device and it works off of a little like watch battery, I'm kind of curious to see how long it'll last if I just go ahead and turn it on and leave it on. If you're not using it, then I can't imagine it would take up too much power. So maybe 6 months, maybe a year, I don't know. So yeah, inside there's just that one little switch that I showed you and turned it on, and the battery, and that's it. And you just kind of screw it in and you're good to go. Despite what it was saying online, the paperwork does show that it works for both iOS and Android. All I have to do is go ahead and stick it on the handlebars. My handlebars are starting to get pretty crowded with the remote for the headlights, my bike computer, and the headlight, and my bell. But I think there's a little more room for this guy. And the great thing is I don't even have to be riding with a friend in order to test this out while I'm on the bike. I can still communicate with friends that I have on the Zello app while I'm riding, even if they're at home or at work or somewhere else. It's small, it's compact, it's simple, and it should make communicating while on the bike a lot easier. So let's give it a shot.